Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to today's bonus session. So, before I begin this session, I just want to say how incredible you guys have all been. These last 4.5 to 5 weeks or so, you've really been showing up, and your consistency, which is funnily what we're going to be talking about, but your consistency has really been evident. The amount of effort that you're all putting in has just been amazing. So well done for that. Now, this brings me on perfectly to tonight's topic of consistency and focus. So discipline comes into all of this. Okay, so everything that I speak about tonight on this session revolves around being disciplined, but the two main topics that I'm actually going to be speaking about in general are going to be consistency and focus. Now, these are two essential factors when it comes to creating and sustaining success in any area of your life, okay? Whether that's health and fitness related, business related, your relationships, personal goals, whatever it is, you need to have these two things down, okay? So, to kick it off, what I want you to do is I want you to write down 3 areas of your life where you haven't been consistent and or focused. Okay, so I want you to write those 3 things down. Now, one of these I want to be surrounding your evolved journey, but the other 2 can also be, or they can be just related to your life in general. Okay, maybe they're related to your business, or whatever it is you want to write about. So write down 3 areas of your life where you believe you haven't been consistent and or focused. Okay, pause this video now and then do that. Okay, so you should have written down your 3 things by now. So I want you to keep those 3 things in the forefront of your mind throughout the rest of this session. Okay, now I want you to pick one of those areas which is the most important to you, which you want to improve immediately. Okay, so have a look at what you've just written down and pick just one thing, the main thing that you really want to improve immediately. Okay, once you've done that, I want you to write down 2 columns underneath that. Okay, so you'll have the thing written down underneath 2 separate columns, and I want you to write if I do ... in one of the column, and in the other column if I don't ... Okay, and I want you to write down in those columns all of the things that are going to happen positively if you do that thing, and if you actually start remaining consistent with that thing. What are all the amazing things that are going to happen? And then on the column, if you don't do that thing, what are the consequences? Okay, so again, pause this video, write that down, and then come back. Okay, so the reason that I got you to do that is just to clarify why you want to be consistent, to clarify why you're actually here and doing these things. Okay, it's really important to just every now and then to check in. You'll notice on all of my sessions, pretty much, we go back to the beginning, and we go back to the goals, and we go back to the why, and we go back to why are we actually here? Why are we actually doing this? Okay, we have to keep reminding ourselves of that sometimes. It's important. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to talk about now is talking about consistency and focus, and it's talking about a question which I'm going to ask you, again, taking it back to the beginning, but getting I'm really going to get you stuck in. Okay, how badly do you actually want to achieve this goal? That one goal that you wrote down that stands out in front of all the rest, how badly, how badly do you really want to achieve the goal? Okay, is that goal that you wrote down that you're trying to achieve, is it something that you are truly passionate about? Or I could rephrase that, is it something you are still truly passionate about? Okay, and I want you to look at those other 2 goals that you wrote down as well, also at this point. Okay, is the passion still there for those things? Because something pretty key to note down here is that as you grow as a person, the things that you actually want to do and achieve in your life do change. They change along the way. And that's why, as humans, we outgrow jobs, we outgrow friendships, we outgrow friendship circles, groups, communities, we outgrow partners in romantic relationships, hobbies that we once enjoyed, which we no longer enjoy anymore, all the things that we once found satisfying. When you grow as a person, we do tend to outgrow a lot of things at the same time, and it's really important to recognize this. Okay, so I'm going off slightly on a tangent here, but bear with me because it will all come together. Okay, this is really important. Now, I'm going to share something personal with you without going into too much detail, but last summer, so I think it was around July, August, I came to a realization about something business related. Now, I had been part of a company for over 6 years, I think it was altogether. I had like a side hustle with a company, and I absolutely loved that company. I loved the products that were involved. I loved everything about it, right? And for about a year before last summer, so I'm taking it back into like 2022, for about a year before I came to this realization, I kept getting this inkling, and I would keep getting these random thoughts that like, oh, do I really want to be doing this? But the thoughts weren't really lasting that long. I'd have like a couple of days of thinking about it, and then suddenly I'd be like, no, what am I talking about? I love this. Of course I do. And I would carry on and I would carry on. And eventually that voice of, do you actually want to be doing this anymore, got so loud to the point where I was like, I actually don't want to be doing this anymore, which is what happened back in last summer, that I stopped working with that company. And it took me a really long time to get to that point. Like I said, it was about a year of kind of back and forth in my own mind. Do I actually want this? Do I not? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Okay. And I kept ignoring that voice until I knew for sure that that wasn't what I wanted anymore. Now, the reason that I've told you that is because sometimes we have to reevaluate things a little bit, and we have to recognize that, if we're doing something which we're no longer in alignment with, and our gut feeling, by the way, is the perfect way to recognize this. If something doesn't feel good anymore, and if you're not getting enjoyment from it anymore, that is the biggest sign that you need to kind of reconsider if you still actually want to be doing that thing. Yeah, I get a lot of stuff with my one-to-one clients. Even, I've had chats with some of you guys in previous things that I've done similar to this, where people's job is a massive one. I have so many conversations where people hate their jobs so much, but they're sticking it out and they're sticking it out. And actually, there's always going to be more out there for you, but you have to make the decision that you want to make that change. And your gut instinct will be telling you, and you will know, no one else will know more than you. You will know if it's time to move on from something. Okay. Because what happens is you have to remove the old to make way for the new. Okay. You have to remove the old to create space. And that's exactly what happened with me last year. I made that decision that, I didn't want to be doing that anymore. Lo and behold, I'm not joking, the day after, another opportunity literally fell into my lap, and I was like, boom, this is what I want to be doing. Another business, another company came into my lap, and I'm now partnered up with that company, and I fucking love it. Okay, but you have to make those decisions, and you have to remove the things which aren't serving you in order to allow for the new things that are there for you, that are there for your purpose and to be serving you, to come in. Okay. So just with that above personal story, which I just spoke about, I want you to just pause this video in a minute, not just yet, I'll tell you when, but in a second, pause this video. And I want you to just take a few minutes to do some journaling. I want you to write down your goals again. Yeah. And I want you to just really make sure that you are 100% in alignment with what you've written down. Okay. Perhaps you've set goals a long time ago. Like, I know you've set some goals at the beginning of this program, but you might have other goals which you've been thinking about for a longer period of time. And you're actually not in alignment with them anymore. But you don't know that you're not in alignment with them anymore because maybe you've not really spent the time really thinking about it. You've just kind of kept them there. Okay. So now when I finish speaking, when I finish this sentence, I want you to pause this and just do some journaling on what your goals are and just be certain that you are fully in alignment with that. Okay. Okay. Now, also, if you're not sure if you're in alignment or not, the best way to figure that out, like I said, is that gut feeling, it's that intuition, and it's really, really simple. If it makes you feel good, if it makes you excited, if the thought of the final outcome gets you really like, yes, oh my God, I cannot wait, you're in alignment. If it makes you feel a little bit icky, if it makes you feel a little bit, oh, no, I'm not really actually too sure about that, you're probably not in alignment with it. Okay. It should make you feel a little bit scared. It should make you feel a little bit uncomfortable, but it's a good feeling of scaredness. You'll know the difference. You'll really, really know the difference. Okay. Now, I want you to make sure that at this point, you're not making excuses for not achieving your goals. Okay. Because that's a very different thing and a very different feeling. If you've not achieved a goal, or if you're not where you want to be because of reasons which are excuses, I fucking hate excuses. When people give me excuses, I literally just think, I don't care. No one cares about your excuses. They really don't. Okay. That's my little love punch for you today. No one cares about your excuses. You know, when you're saying things, I don't have time, work is getting in the way, I just don't know what to do, so I'm just not going to do anything at all. Yeah. Whatever it is, that's a very different thing to it not feeling right and to it not feeling in alignment with your heart's true desires. Okay. And as I said, you will know within yourself. Only you know whether you're making excuses or not. You know, I could wake up every single morning and make an excuse as to why I don't want to get out of bed and go and do a workout or teach a class or do this or do that. I have the opportunity every day, if I really wanted to cancel things. But I know within me that that's all excuses. None of it is genuine, like, this doesn't feel right with me. Maybe I'm just a bit tired. Maybe I just can't really be bothered one day. I'm a human being, that happens, right? But I know within me if I'm just being a bit lazy or if I'm genuinely not wanting to do something for a bigger reason. Okay. So that's something for you guys to think about when it comes to all of this stuff surrounding Evolve specifically. Okay. Are you giving excuses or does it just not feel right? Okay. So to summarize, it's really simple. If it doesn't feel right, it's because it isn't. Okay. Now, let me just get my notes up so that I do not digress too much more. Okay, right. So the reason that I spoke to you guys about that, and I'm aware that I spent a bit of time on that, is because you will never be consistent. You will never be disciplined. You will never remain focused on something that you're not in alignment with. Or if you are being consistent and disciplined, it's not going to last for very long. Okay. And the reason for that is because your heart and your soul knows. It knows. It knows what you want. It knows what you're all about. It knows what you deserve. It knows what's good for you. And that's why we get that gut feeling. That's why our intuition kicks in. So if you're going for a goal just for the sake of going for a goal, or because we think it's the right thing to do, when deep down it's not truly what we really want, you're going to be on a really long and annoying and resisted road because your heart and your soul knows it's not what you want. And it will make achieving it pretty damn hard. That's why if you remember back in week 1, when I was talking about, setting your goals and creating these habits and like getting really clear on what your why is, if you want to lose weight because you want to look good in a bikini, don't tell everyone and don't tell yourself that you want to lose weight because you want to put your health first, because that's not going to keep you being consistent. You've got to be really, really honest with yourself. And that is so important when it comes to all of this stuff around discipline and consistency. Okay. So hopefully you've all got some clarity on all of that in terms of being in alignment and all of that. And I'm going to move on to a topic which falls beautifully within being consistent and being focused, and that is the topic of patience. Okay. As a Leo, I am not naturally patient at all. I want things yesterday. But I've learnt that I have to wait sometimes and to just trust the process. Okay. Who has heard of the phrase, good things take time, or nothing worth having comes easily or quickly? Right? Now, whilst I fully believe that we actually can achieve what we want in an easy and effortless manner sometimes, if our mind is in the right place, if our vibration is in the right place and we're taking action consistently, sometimes things can happen really fucking easily and effortlessly. They can. Okay. But I do also fully believe that usually things can take some time to get to that end goal, no matter what it might be. Okay. Often when things happen really, really, really quickly, they're not sustainable. Okay. And I'm sure you'll agree with me that what tends to happen is you set a goal, the universe then decides that it will be a really great idea to just throw you every curveball under the sun to make it really difficult for you. Has anyone ever had that before? I definitely have. Now, this isn't always the case by any means, but I've certainly manifested things very quickly, very easily, very effortlessly, in the past. But those rewards have never just kind of come out of the blue, they've come after a journey and a process, and it may seem like it's happened just like that. But I know I've been doing the work consistently, and I know that I've had a lot of curveballs come in my way and I've overcome them. And I've done the work and eventually it's manifested. And sometimes it feels like it's just kind of happened. But if you look back, you're like, actually, I've been working on that for a while. Okay. So going back to the universe throwing in the curveballs, I cannot tell you how many challenges I've done, fitness challenges I've done, where either myself or people who have come and got involved suddenly get an injury. Someone has a bad neck, someone has a bad back, someone gets COVID, someone gets whatever, right? And it happens that, we're saying, right, let's go. I'm going to be the fittest I've ever been. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And the universe is like, nope, no, you're not. I'm going to give you that problem. Okay. And often these things happen to test us. It's the universe testing us. It's the universe proving, it wants us to prove how much we truly want something. If you really wanted to lose weight, for example, if you really wanted to get healthy, even if you had an injury, even if you had an illness, you would work around that before and afterwards. And you could still do things like, even if you can't exercise, you could probably still walk. Even if you can't walk a lot, you can still watch your food and make sure you're filling yourself with all the nutritious goodness. Okay, the universe wants us to prove how badly we truly, truly want something. I'm just using the example of weight loss as an example, but this applies to loads of things in our lives. Do you really want it? Do you really want to make it happen? Or are you going to give up at the first hurdle? And that's why the universe rewards those of us who are consistent. The universe rewards those who keep the end goal in sight, who go through the shit and come out on the other side. They keep going until they get the goal. Okay. And hopefully you guys know by now from previous things which I've spoken about, the minute doubt comes in and the minute that lack of self-belief comes in, the law of vibration comes into play. Your vibration goes down and your goal goes in the other direction. Okay. So if you're feeling like the universe is testing you right now, or you can relate to this in other areas, when the universe is testing you, when it's throwing you curveballs, when it's sending you here, there, and everywhere, God knows where, what does that require? It requires patience. Okay. Patience is something that we have to practice in order to remain consistent and focused. Okay. So what actually is patience? Okay. So patience is the understanding that there is a natural gestation period for all acts of creation, okay, whatever those acts may be. So I'm going to give you some examples to do with some animals, okay? So for example, we can understand that it takes approximately 280 days from conception for a human baby to be born. And it takes a certain amount of days for a seed to turn into a plant. Okay. I have some animal examples as well coming. I'm aware that those weren't animals. Okay, so we know that certain things take a certain amount of time. So this is the same for all of our goals. Okay, so no matter how big or small your goals are, it's the same thing. It's going to take a gestation period, right? So they must first manifest on the inside in our minds before they can manifest into reality. Okay, and that is why patience is required to achieve your goals, and why it is so key to do this inner work that that you're doing here on Evolve, which you've already begun and which you'll continue to do, because it's going to help you achieve just that. It's going to help you develop that patience that you need, to achieve those things that you want. So what you need to do is right, there's 3 things which you guys need to do. So I'm just going to have some of my glorious, this is beetroot, apples, carrots, orange and lemon. Beetroot juice is nice, but it's a little bit earthy. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit bitty. Anyway, I digress. So 3 things which is going to help you practice that patience and help you get to that end goal. Okay, so the first thing, know where you're at right now. Okay, so we'll call that point A. Where are you at right now? Number 2, which we're going to call point B, know where you want to be. What will your life look like when you achieve that goal? Okay, whatever goal it is that you're talking about. So that's point B. And number 3, you need an action plan to consistently move you from point A to point B. Here on this program, we're giving you, with your daily challenges, with all the things regarding your food, your fitness, your steps, your water, your colorful plate, like all that stuff, the self-work, the self-talk, all of that stuff is going to be helping you. But you're going to have to get more specific as well than just those things. Okay. Now, if there wasn't a gap between point A and point B, there would be no need to practice patience at all. Okay. But in order to close that gap, you need to have a strategy in place to close the gap and to get those results. Okay. Because without that strategy, you're not going to experience patience, you're going to experience frustration. Okay. And at this point, I want to just mention that if you are somebody who believes in manifestation, which I think you all are, it's really important to not go too far in that direction and not take action. It can sometimes be easy to fall into that trap of, if it's meant to be, it'll be. If it's for me, it'll come to me. Okay. And whilst that is absolutely true, what I just said, it is only true if you actually listen to your intuition, listen to your random thoughts, which is your inner guidance, and act on it. You have to take action. Okay, there's so much out there at the moment with the law of attraction and all this stuff, and people, I think genuinely, some people believe that, oh, it's fine, I'm just going to think about it and it's going to come. No. Thinking about it is a great first step, but you then have to do all the other work that comes with it for it to come. Okay, so whilst we're on this point, something I'd like to do, I'd like you guys to do for some homework, and yes, I'm giving you some homework, is to think about a strategy. Okay, so I want you to look at your goals. I want you to write down some actions that you're going to start implementing immediately that you're not already doing, that are going to help you towards your goals. At the start of this program, we looked at our goals. We spoke about action steps in previous sessions. Are you currently actually implementing all those action steps? Maybe you're implementing some, but maybe you're not implementing all of them. Maybe you're implementing a lot of them, but there's more things that you can think of that actually are going to help you get to that goal. Write those down. I want you to write them down. I want you to just have a look at what you can be doing to remain consistent and remain focused. Okay, so just have a bit of a brainstorming session, create a little diagram. You could do it for your, obviously for your one of your goals surrounding Evolve, and then if you want to do it for your other goals as well, just create a little diagram, have the goal in the middle, and then just do some brainstorming around it. You know, what action steps, have all those action steps around that the goal, and just do some brainstorming. Okay, so that is what I want you guys to do for your homework. Now, I just want to touch on something which some of you might be like, I'm not sure if I agree, but please just trust me. Okay, I want to talk about working hard. Okay, on anything, on any goal, working hard. I hate this phrase so much. Okay, because from the get-go, you're putting out a negative thought. You're referring to what you're doing in a negative manner. Okay, so how are you going to succeed when you've got that initial mindset that what you're doing is going to be fucking hard work? Okay, you're immediately throwing yourself a challenge before you have even started. It's not about working hard, right? It's about working with determination. It's about working with enthusiasm. It's about working with power. Yeah, it's about working with discipline, with consistency, with focus, all those positive words. How much better does that sound in comparison to I'm working really hard? Okay, when we have that mindset of working hard, we go into resistant mode. Okay, we go into resistant mode, which is a low vibration. And you know by now, when we're in a low vibration, we attract low vibe realities. Did you know success is actually only 5% strategy and 95% mindset? That's mental. Okay, so whilst strategy is important, and whilst you have to be 100% clear on the action steps that you have to take, and you have to take those actions are all totally irrelevant if your mindset is in the wrong place. Okay, another thing I want you to remember, especially when you feel like giving up, because that's where the consistency really has to kick in, you know, especially when you feel like giving up, is that the bigger your goal is, the bigger that gestation period will be. Okay, so here comes the animal talk that I was speaking about. So, for example, it only takes 28 days for a chipmunk to have a litter. Okay, it takes a lion cub approximately 120 days to be born, and it takes 645 days for an elephant to give birth. I didn't know that. That's a long time, right? So everything differs. The size of the thing, I think that's such a great way of like a great analogy. The size of the thing, whatever the size of the goal, the bigger the goal, you've got to be more patient. You just have to be, okay? Everything differs. There's no right or wrong amount of time for something to take. You have to just learn to trust the process. But the process can only continue on the right path when you practice consistency and patience. Okay, and although nobody knows how long something may or may not take, what we do know is if you're not in alignment, it's going to take a much, much, much longer time if you're going to get it at all. Okay, so how do you get in alignment? Which is a good question. I want you to write these 4 points down. Number one, you build an image of it in your mind. You have an image of what you want that end goal to be. Okay, we've done some visualization work around this previously in previous sessions, and we'll be doing some more. Number two, you focus on what you really want, not on what you don't want. Okay, I cannot put enough stress on this. All of your focus has to be going on what you actually want. No focus is going on what you don't want. Okay, number three, you take consistent action to move closer towards your goal. Your homework is going to set you up nicely for that. Plus all the stuff that we're doing on a daily basis, already setting you up nicely for that, and you're already doing it. And number four, you persevere and you do your absolute best to feel good and remain in a high vibration, knowing that you're on the way to your goal destination. I cannot tell you how important it is, guys, to remain in a high vibration as much as possible. Okay. Have any of you ever said the statement, I'm going to be happy when? Yeah, this phrase is the biggest mistake that anyone can make. As long as you're saying, I'll be happy when, all you're actually saying is, I'm not happy right now. Okay. And when you're not happy now, you're not practicing gratitude. And when you're not practicing gratitude, and when you're focusing on what you don't have, you're in resistance mode, which I spoke about a minute ago. And when you're in resistance mode, you all know by now what I'm going to say. When you're in resistance mode, you're on that low vibration. The universe delivers the things which are the opposite to what you actually want. Why? Because that's what happens when you're in a low vibration. It's that simple. Like attracts like, negative attracts negative, positive attracts positive. Okay. I need to keep, I repeat myself in these sessions because it's so important. Repetition, hearing things over and over and over again is what's going to make you actually subconsciously start to make changes. And it's when that happens that your realities are going to start changing. Okay. So stop doing that. Stop focusing on the negatives. Okay. Stop saying I'm going to be happy when. Enjoy the journey. Be happy. Be fulfilled now, even when shit feels really fucking hard, because it can and it does. There will always be something that's happening in life, but there will always also be something to be grateful for. Always. Okay. And actually, I want you right now, I'm going to give you 30 seconds and I want you to write down 3 things that you're grateful for right now. Go. Okay. That was pretty easy, wasn't it? Hopefully you found that easy. Okay, so that is, I just did that because I want you to remember how quickly it is to get yourself feeling good. Okay, so let's go on to focus. So this is where I'm going to bring up what I spoke about at the beginning, just making sure that your goals are something that you're truly desiring. Okay, because naturally your productivity and your commitment will be on a totally different scale if the end goal is something that truly matters to you, okay, compared to if it isn't. Do you remember I gave you that example of the bicycle before? I'll give it to you again. You've got the 2 bicycle wheels, consistency and discipline, and desire. Go, 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 go. Oh, consistency and discipline are lacking. Desire is going to pull me through. Oh, desire is lacking. Consistency and discipline is going to lead me through. Okay. We need to have those things. They've got to be there. It's the only thing that's those things are going to get us through to that end goal. Okay. So if your desire is always a priority, which it should be, and it has to be if you want to see results, then your life is going to evolve. You're going to grow. Your days will be fulfilling. You'll find enjoyment in the actions and happiness in the actions that you're taking because you actually want to do them. You know, this goes back to what I said earlier about just changing your outlook about working hard and changing it to working with passion, working with desire, working with excitement, enthusiasm. You know, when we're working with that outlook, we will automatically remain more focused. Okay. And we all need to focus to achieve any worthy goal, whatever it is. So if we can maintain our focus on changing something or developing or improving something, there's a very, very, very good chance that we're going to succeed. Okay. If we don't focus on it, we're not going to achieve the goal. Unless it's a really easy goal that would have happened anyway. But how often does that happen? Unless things accidentally happen sometimes, right? Our goal should be something a little bit scary. It should be a big goal, right? It should be something that challenges us. Do you remember when I spoke about something that felt like a fantasy? That's where we're at, okay? And, you know, just turning that fantasy into theory and creating things that we are so capable of creating, okay? So to finish up, guys, I'm just going to give you a few things to help you keep focused on your current goals. And I just want you to get really familiar with everything that I'm going to say and just make these things a habit. Okay. So I want you to pick one goal. It can be that one goal that you wrote down at the beginning of this session, or after listening to this session, you might think, actually, this is my goal. Up to you, no right or wrong. I want you to pick one goal. Okay, and I want you to just really remain focused on that moving forward. Other goals can, of course, be present, but I want you to really, at this point, we're about to step into week 5. I want you to just really have some solid focus on one particular goal through this program. Okay, whether that's for the next week, the next 2 weeks, the next 3 weeks, all the way up till the end, that's entirely up to you. But just have that one thing that you're really focused on. Okay, now, second thing I want you to do, I want you to write this down in the present tense. I want you to write your goal down in the present tense as if you've already achieved the goal. And what I want you to do is I want you to get a piece of paper and make it into like a little card size so that you could actually fit it in your card holder, or you can fold it up and put it in your card holder or your purse or in the back of your phone. But I want you to have this goal written down and I want you to keep it on you. Okay. So I always like to say, I'm so happy and grateful now that I have, and then whatever your goal is. Okay. Let's just use weight loss as an example because this is a topic of conversation right now for all of us. So I am so happy and grateful now that I have lost 2 kilos. I am so happy and grateful now that my jeans feel so much more comfortable. I am so happy and grateful now that I actually feel sexy in my own skin. Whatever it is, could be nothing related to that at all. I'm just giving some examples. Write it down on a small piece of paper, fold it up, and keep it on you at all times. Okay. Number 3, I want you to practice visualizing already having that goal. Okay. Engaging your senses, closing your eyes, getting really stuck into it. Do it when you wake up. Do it when you go to sleep. Do it when you're in the bath or in the shower. Just visualize achieving that goal. Before you go to sleep is actually the most effective, because as we drift off into sleep, our subconscious mind truly comes into play, and that's where the magic happens. Okay. And number 4, just work on your goal each day. Every day, just be doing something, even if it just means for a few minutes sometimes. Just take action every single day. And, the WhatsApp chats that we've got, the Facebook group, the challenges, all that stuff, we're keeping you pretty accountable for the majority of the time. But you still need to make sure that you're still showing up on those days when we don't know what's happening. Okay. So I hope you have found that useful, guys. That is a bit of info on consistency and focus and overall discipline. If anyone has any questions, please do let me know, and I will catch up with you soon. Bye.